Hello, and welcome to Fate's Stay Night. I figured I'd jump into the original one here for this last episode, just for the screen here. I assume I still have everything over here. Yep. All the endings completed, and last episode. Clang, a beautiful sound. That light. Only that sound was something he would never forget all his life. The sound of the bell that announces the commencement of battle. Her figure that made even the rough clanking of armor sound beautiful. Okay. This is all fate route stuff. That voice is still clear. The image just wears away. The image wears away. The sound is still etched clearly into his heart. Yes, the contract was complete. She chose him to become her master, and he swore to help her with all his might. The moonlight illuminated the darkness, as if following the knight's example. The shed again fell silent. Each time he remembers it, he murmurs that name to himself. He has completely forgotten that blue light. The golden hair shone in the moonlight. Okay. In his final years, on the verge of a nap, suddenly he remembers the nostalgic sword. He cannot recall the correct order. His memories are distant and hazy, and all of his feelings from then are long in the past now. This is a story of the past. The story of him and her, only 15 days long, concerning a certain grail. I'm still not really sure what's happening here.
その時は私が死ぬだけでしょう。シローが傷つくことではなかった。繰り返しますが、今後あのような行動はしないように。マスターであるあなたが私をかばう必要はありませんし。ですから、そんな人間がいるとしたら、その人物の内面はどこか欠落しています。その欠落を抱えたまま進んでは、待っているのは悲劇だけです。あなたが戦わないというのならいい。
違うわ、セイバー。シローはサーバントを侮っているわけじゃない。そのあたりを誤解しちゃうと話が進まないから口を挟ませてもらうけど。だから無茶でも戦う。勝てないって分かっていながら勝とうとする。その結果が自分の死でも構わない。なぜならあんたの中ではどうしてか知らないけど自分より他人の方が大切だからよ。
He was a fool, and I generally agree to some extent. Oh man, I mean, lightsaber is so stupid. I'm still not really sure what this is accomplishing. It's definitely more cinematic than a lot of the previous stuff. He didn't save anyone by himself. To really end the war, it was obvious from the start what needed to be done. A certain man said this: he would not fight anyone, not kill anyone, not let anyone be killed. If he realized he was wrong, he must decide what he will make right and whom he will punish. I don't know, this feels like a recap at the moment. With a faint consciousness, he reached out for no reason. He didn't reach out to seek help. He just thought that the sky was a long way away. In his last moments, that's what he thought.
Soの堅くなさは実にあなたらしい。まったく今さら答えるまでもないでしょう。私はあなたの剣です。私以外の誰があなたの力になるのですか、シロ。
She and her sword were one. Sword from the stone that chose the king. The brilliance of the sword that selected her fate was also her brilliance. Her soul must still be on the battlefield. Before daybreak, resting her body in the wind under the indigo blue sky, she just gazed into the distance. I mean, this is a nice recap. A lot of the things I've forgotten. A king is not human. One cannot protect the people with human emotions.
いいセイバー。デートってのはね、要するに相引きのことなの。
We're going over this part.
シロは遊びに行くって言うけど、つまるところ男の子が好きな女の子にアピールするチャンスってわけ。
But then there are also things like this. Fortunately, the sky was very high and the wind was very cool. Even now, these clear blue memories live inside her heart. And he never really fought with that armor again. Oh well.
王の誓いは破れない。私には王として果たさなければならない責務がある。アーサー王の目的は聖杯の入手です。それが叶おうとも私はアルトリアに戻ることはないでしょう。私の望みは初めから一つだけ。剣を手にした時からこの誓いは永遠に変わらないのですから。シローなら分かってくれると思っていた。
That was a scene from many years ago.
それを手に取る前にきちんと考えた方がいい。
いいえ。
She nodded firmly. He wouldn't have shown her future. Are you really okay with that? The man just asked.
"多くの人が笑っていました。それはきっと間違いではないと思います。
The girl only wanted to protect everyone. But to do so, she had to throw away the emotion of wanting to protect people. Because one cannot protect a country as king if one has a human heart. She accepted it and pulled out the sword. She accepted it and swore to live as the king. So her heart would not change no matter how many times she was abandoned, feared, or betrayed. She threw away her human heart because the young girl wanted to protect in exchange for it. Who would ever know of such a sublime oath? She chose to fight, no matter what the future may hold. Even so, she still chose to fight, even if there was the inevitable solitary ruin waiting at the end.
私は選定役だと言っただろう。ふさわしい人間がいるのならば喜んで聖杯は譲る。そのためにまずはお前の言葉を聞きたいのだ、エミヤシロ。
It is a living hell that's somehow familiar. No matter how much they ask, he cannot assent. All he can do is end it for them. He can only fix the contradiction of the living dead. He can only make the creator of this hell atone for his sins. And the priest said this: the truth behind 10 years ago, that someone with malicious intent touched the Grail. The cruel reality that nobody could be saved. Sad events, miserable times, a disaster that has already occurred. Those things cannot be taken back. A superhero only exists to straighten out what has already happened. He cannot stand their stares. He wants to run away from it all. He wants no way. He has no way to save them. He can only listen and has no miracle to grant them. He doesn't have enough power to deny that man's claim that a superhero is only so strong. I have no definite adversary. I've never wished anything for myself. Then, if I had a miracle that could save them, would I use it?
いらない。そんなことは望めない。
He stares straight at the dead corpses, and clenching his teeth rejects them. Things lost will never return. His fear hurts her so much. What did she tell him? That she could not start a new life. She continued to refuse him, saying that she had a duty as a king. She remembers the oath that she took a long time ago. Something she has kept to herself. She decides to fight, even if it meant losing everything and being loathed by everyone.
私が愚かだった。
The oath of the king who still chose to fight.
聖杯が私を汚すものならばいらない。私が欲しかったものは
Yes, everything was there. Her pride is a knight and her oath is a king. Even the dream the girl Arturia wished for. The trust and love for him that has never wavered. Not herself as king. But the girl could never protect anything. In the end, wholeheartedly became his sword.
Let's go!
And the morning sun rises. The halted wind begins again. The cold that seemed to last forever. In it.
最後に一つだけ伝えないと。
She says in a voice filled with determination.
ああ。どんな。
He replies like always, with his best beloved. She's facing him. She looks straight at him, and in a voice without regret.
シロ、あなたを愛している。
She says those words. Wind blows. He closes his blind eye and opens them again. There's no surprise. He saw this coming. That the parting would be like this. An open field fills his eyes. As the wind blew, the night disappeared. Just as she appeared. Leaving no trace.
ああ。本当にお前らしい。
There are no regrets in his voice. He squints at the rising sun, keeping everything he lost close to his heart. He stares at the horizon, wishing never to forget and for it to never fade away. A distant land glowing in sunlight, resembling the golden field she ran through. And okay. Ratanua. This isn't a story to be told to someone. It's a small wish like one made upon a star. It was a long journey. The time spent, the ideals pursued, and the life he tried to achieve must have been quite the burden. No matter how far he walked, the distance did not close. Well, this is new at the very least. Without rest, without giving up, without hesitation, with strained eyes. He walked down that long road. His journey continued on, endlessly. The reason why is very simple. Where he should go, what he should do, in order to stop in his footsteps. He should have decided those answers at the very beginning, but apparently had not. Nothing is indestructible. No matter how durable a machine is, it will slowly wear away with use. Machines, bodies, spirits are all alike in this manner. Everything will be damaged with time. Every time one looks at something, its color fades a little more. Therefore, even in his heart, which did not recognize anything as painful, would perhaps finally notice after many years of repetition. Even if your actions are meaningful, in the end, you yourself are worthless. Hope and despair are inseparable. Noble ideals become tiring duties, and in the end, a sordid obsession. What people idolize in childhood becomes a mundane reality, and though they may look back on it, they lose that respect. That is the correct mentality for anyone that is human. But because he was not correct, he carefully locked away his heart that could feel pain. His heart of iron was proof that he was a man of tin. Like this, the long journey could continue. In exchange, he felt less pleasure, but fortunately he was not a greedy man. He was happy to be rewarded once in a while. He yearned for something beautiful. He saw many peoples and towns. Beautiful things existed everywhere, but he could not encounter the starlight he parted with on that day. The reason his journey did not end was likely not because he lacked a goal. It's because he had not found what he was really looking for. But it was a satisfying lie. Okay. It was a long dream. The curse upon her, the ideal she offered up, the remaining end must have been quite heavy. No matter how long she slept, she did not awaken once. Not moving, not refusing, not wishing, while calmly taking deep breaths. She slept through that long dream. The duty of the king has not ended. In order to fulfill that promise, the king could not return to the time before the sword, even in death. Time passed, the country prospered, and the people changed. Even if there was no longer anyone who desired a noble king, that oath remained. After all, in order to make it so, she had been entrusted with many lives. However, the dream she caught glimpses of was a sad one. She saw flashes of scenery from the depths of sleep. She wanted at least the voice of her heart to reach the lonely travels of the man who is now very far away. He may have stolen away his humanity and became a machine that merely repeated the same thing. His pain may not have been noticed by anyone, but I was there and I know his strength. However, she had an eternal promise. If the past was unchangeable, then it truly was eternal. The king was eternally bound by her past oath and resolution. She herself was the one who would at least forgive the act of returning to the way she was before pulling out the sword. But she still wanted to meet him. Even if she slept for eternity. She wanted him to hear her voice.
それは難しいな。そもそも君たちの時間は絶望的なまでにずれている。
The man just spoke to her. Wait. How's... this is obviously Saber's perspective. Did she, like... have a attempt to figure out what to do about it? But she was dying, wasn't she? I thought she died at the end of Fate. He told her that her wish was impossible. Maybe in her dying breaths? Or, dying moments? Because I remember that other night went off to grab someone.
普通にやったらまず出会えない。実現するには、まあなんていうか、二つの奇跡が必要だ。一方が待ち続けて、一方が追い続ける。それもありえないと確信しながら、ひどく長い時間耐え抜かないといけない。それほら、言いにくいけど、望むべきではない夢物語だろ?
The man just asked her whether or not it could come true, or whether or not she could keep waiting for it, unrelated to the duty of the king.
ああ、勘違いはしないようにね。王の責任を捨てろって話じゃない。そもそも君は骨の髄まで王様だ。そんな君から誇りを取ったら何も起こらない。君はそのままでいいんだよ。僕が言っているのは正当な褒美の話だ。小娘一人が幸せに生きる権利、それぐらいの働きはしていると思うんだが。
So the Magus says, it's the same as the time when she took up the sword. Back then, it was with a sneer at the suffering that was likely to come. And now a smile at the future that may be granted. There's no point in replying. All that mattered was whether the girl who had not yet taken up the sword would wish or not. Either way, she did not have the power to grant it. In that case, how was it any different from wishing upon a star?
でも、それが本当にいいことなのかはまた別の話だ。アルトリア、時代も人も変わっている。あの頃のままなのは君だけだ。夢は夢のままの方が美しい。君はこのまま死んだように眠っている方が楽でいい。それでも
No reply is necessary. Even if it's not put into words, this wish alone will not disappear. On the contrary, that alone is enough. Because until that day when, not visited by anyone, not sought by anyone in the end, the image of the king disappears in the imagination of the people. She will endure the slumber forevermore, with this warm wish as a dream to nourish her. This all feels very fate. Is there going to be like one of these for each of them? In the end, he cannot change his way of living. when she was never rewarded. And then, for both him and her, a long time passed. But I thought she was dying. Maybe she just like continuously went through the different dreams, showing up places, and ended up not being Emmy and not being Emmy and not being Emmy. Maybe that's what it means? Oh, epilogue. Really hard to see epilogue coloration over a white background. Suddenly, eyes open. How far has he walked? He chose to walk only through desolate lands, but after exiting deep forest, he finds himself standing in familiar grassy plain. He isn't certain about the place. How many months and years has it been since then? And how far of a distance has he gone since then? It is all unclear now. He lowers his burden from his shoulders, rests his tense body. Ah, he thought he would walk forever. But it seems that this is the end of his journey. The view is clear and wide. The wind that rustles the grass unties the bonds that were twined so heavily around him. His heart calmly returns to the time with each step. He stares at the endless blue sky, thinking about the unspoken promise. It was the delusion of the young, a wish that was akin to a bluff. They looked at the same sky and felt the same thing. So if he pursued it, it would definitely come true. In his hometown, that is what he thought. Then, she wakes from her dream as well. She holds on to her wish as she looks up at the sky. She noticed that the direction of the wind has changed and holds back the tears that threaten to spill. Yes, a different wind has begun to blow through this once unchanging plain. She continues to wait for her visitor as if praying. Farewell is all she says. She thanks the small hope that she had only wished for until now. Without realizing, he hurries forward. His breath quickens slightly. Unbelievable. Years has been since she's been so short of breath, as if he's gone back in time to when he was still young and inexperienced. But no, but just because he's gained experience doesn't mean he's an adult. And shit. Come to think of it, how long has she wished to the sky? I want to meet him. I want to meet him. This is auto-scrolling, by the way. If it was possible, just once more, she wanted to hold that wave of life in her arms to make sure of what she had yearned for. Unconsciously, her heartbeat speeds up. Still, she does not move from that place. She cannot bring herself to spoil his rule. She truly wanted to break into a run, but just then, she chooses to wait for his words. There's some unease as well. This wish, this miracle, should it really be brought back? He's not who he was back then. His heart and body have worn down just as she screamed. She's not always thinking of this scene either. He's not always been thinking of this scene either. It was not attachment, he simply did not forget. He's only held to this gradual... Crap. No. So, even if it was still a dream, still experiences various lives of hope, so... If I mess up in saying something, I can't catch up with myself. Darn it. No. He cannot deceive himself any longer. Something he's only remembered in words revives so vividly in his mind. That which has stowed carefully away moves once more. Oh, she's young. Familiar blood runs through his tin heart, a golden land. In the home of the woman he parted with long ago, his heart finally caught up with him. Many emotions well up, but only one phrase rises to his throat. How much had they wanted to meet, and how long she had waited are now meaningless. Yes, in the end, he was not able to change his way of living. In the same way, she was not rewarded, but...
けど、よかった。あとは、あんまり待たせていなかったのならいいんだけど。
After protecting to the end, there's something waiting for him. Something precious left at the end of his life. He retrieved something important. It is fortunate that he stored it within himself. His smile's as simple as the boy's, just as it was once then.
ただいま、セイバー。
The words he spoke are truly the same as back then. It is as if that day is about to continue. Her footsteps on the ground are light. The girl smiles as if falling apart. And so the dream announces its end. Following the star, traveling to the star, moving forward and seeing others off, losing many things and creating many things. At the end of it all, incomparable to the immense amount of time that is spent, is a tiny, tiny fragment. Very dazzling. He looks at the radiance in the small palm, extracted with great pain, so bright as to burn the eye. And so, they meet at the end of a long road. So ends the journey of the man who yearned after the star. From now on, he and she will begin another long, long story, and in the end, the world will keep on turning so that he may become someone's star once again. Storyteller may fall silent, music may cease, the story will not end. Be it tragedy or comedy, as long as there is applause, the story will not end. It's just like the multitude of human lives, warm blessings for to we who are not rewarded, and we who are still on our way. Our travels continue on. Freaking Russian to say things. Okay. Okay. That was super duper fate-centric. Is there a different one for each of these? I wonder. I'm gonna guess no, but maybe. Oh, that was cool. So my interpretation of that, which may be wrong, would be that basically they both ended up through being heroes in the like out of time area. I forget even what it was called. I'm forgetting what it's called. That heroes eventually go to and whatnot. So that or the afterlife, if they, did eventually move on properly. Then again, neither of them should have. I don't know what an afterlife in this would be even. So I'm not really 100% sure, but it's either some sort of afterlife or some status that they have in that that world where heroes are left, maybe. That'll make some semblance of sense. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna check the other ones to see if there are any deviations, because that seemed strangely fate-centric, and I just happened to jump on the fate one because I thought it was like, oh, this is the original. Oh, sure, I'll just open up this particular file since each route has its own executable file to open up. Assuming this might be an overall Fate Stay night, I thought it was good. I think it's fucking long. I think it's real fucking long. Oh. I think I emphasized that before. So, the two things that have mainly been proposed to me for when I eventually do come back to the series, and that is the plan, is Fate Hollow Atraxia. And, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the name, but it's like it's either a previous work or it takes place in the same universe, and I am blanking out what the name is. So, probably Fate Hollow Atraxia if I do come back. Or when I do come back. No, I'll come back to the series in the future, just probably not soon. Not soon. Emphasize that, not soon. This is long. And I'm gonna do other stuff, because there are so many things to do visual novel-wise. The other one I want to do eventually. I want to do it all eventually. There's so many things I want to do eventually. It's just when is a matter of what I feel like doing, essentially. So, Oh, what was the other one even called? Ah. It like takes. I don't even remember how it was described to me too much. I prefer not to be told too much. I can find the name eventually. But I rather stay relatively blind in as many things as I can. So don't worry too much about telling me too much. All I know about Holotraxy is that it is a sequel-ish of sorts. I believe that's what people said. And it's more comedy-focused, though it has its own storyline. Which, you know, slice of life comedy focused. I don't mind that. If there is a version of this for each route, then man, that's gonna be a lot of credits. This has been going on and on. Oh, that's a bit different too. Here, let's go check the other ones now. Well, that has the same background, so I'm gonna assume it's probably the same thing. Probably. Yep, same thing. Yep. Okay, so it's more just an extended epilogue to the Fate route more than anything. Which I have been told in the past was the original story, essentially, so... And then it got expanded upon into new routes once they developed it further. Okay. Don't worry, guys, Fate Stay Night ain't over yet. Still have, not that. We still have, okay, Cherry Blossom Stream. I was wondering what they would, put in there, because I don't remember CG coming up. We still have whatever this is. What?
Hi, お疲れ様。
What?
本編オールクリアタイガースタンプフルコンプおめでとうございました。おめでとうございました。
Yay.
長かったフェイト本編をオールクリアし、タイガースタンプまで制覇したあなたをねぎらうタイガー道場 SP にようこそ。
Doesn't feel like much of a reward. Why the fuck are both of you naked?
ここまで遊び尽くしてくれたのなら、もはや言うことはありません。もうどこへなりとも行くがいいさ。
Why are you assuming I'm a guy? You think girls wouldn't play this this semi-erotic visual now?
そうだね。これで連打地獄ともお別れだね。
Oh, I didn't really mouse click very much. Enter.
さて、そんな私たちは一足先に慰安旅行としてアインツベルンの秘湯バルハラ温泉に来ています。どうタイガー、お湯加減は気に入った？いいよー、癒されるわー。なんかあまりの気持ちよさに気を抜くと天国に行っちゃう感じでしょ。この温泉の効能は疲労回復と霊魂昇天なんだから。気を抜くとそのまま帰ってこれなくなるわ。
Well,
なんか今バター畑が見えたような。
a butterfield. I thought it was a grassy field.
危ない危ない。お風呂で眠っちゃダメだよね。さて、今回でタイガー道場もグランドフィナーレ。フェイトを締めくくるということで、今までの反省会などをしてみたいと思います。最後まで怒られるなんてつまんない。せっかく温泉なんだし、思い出話をするぐらいにとどめるべきだと思うわ。年下のロリッコに諌められる私。けど確かにそうね。温泉気持ちいいし、反省会なんてライオンのすることだぞ。私反省した。素直に何も考えず、今までのことを振り返ってみましょう。
そういうイリアちゃんは本編でどこがお気に入りだった？
私、そうね。リンルートで私が殺されるところかな。本当はイベント画がなかったんだけど、後から付け足してくれたの。
Wait, that was your favorite part when you died?
心臓引き抜かれるやつね。確かにあれにはときめいたな。
いっそそのまま昇天なさい。私が言ってるのはバーサーカーと私のイベント画よ。
Right, yep, the flashback.
ちなみにタイガの言ってるイベント画は没候補ナンバー1のくせにいつの間にかできてた謎のイベント画なんだから。
I don't even remember that one. Actually, I remember the Berserker one.
そうだったんだ。なんかな、あんな悪趣味なイベント画を残して私がバビロニアの神の力で変身、アンリマユと一騎打ちしてるイベント画をボツにするなんて変だよね。
Well, that probably would have been in the Tiger Jojo if it actually is real and you're not actually joking.
ねえタイガ、どうでもいいんだけど、バビロニアの神の力で変身するヒーローはヒョウ男よ。虎じゃないわ。
Wait, what?
嘘。だって可愛いヒゲ生えてるよ、あのトラマント。
ヒゲが生えてれば虎なら今時機動戦士も虎になるわ。
ショック。お汁粉とぜんざいが違う食べ物だっていうぐらいショック。
I know what neither of those are.
はあ、前から疑問だったんだけど、タイガってどうして虎にこだわるの？タイガって呼ばれるの嫌いなくせに着てる服は虎柄だし、虎好きなの？嫌いなの？
深く憎み、同時に深く愛している。
Sounds complicated.
まあいいけど、人の趣味はそれぞれだし追求するのはやめておくわ。で、そういうタイガは本編のどこがお気に入りなのよ？
そうね。オープニングムービーとか好きよ。
It's not bad, especially in this version, yeah.
特に藤村大河が映ってるところとか。
聞いた私が愚かだったわ。このままじゃ一生話が進まないから順序立ててやっていきましょう。じゃあまずは第1部セイバールートからね。ルートタイトルのフェイトが示す通り、フェイトを代表するルートです。私も出番が多いしタイガもエンディングに出てくるし、とりあえず文句がつけられないルートかな。
Isn't that a downside? Or at least the latter part.
そうね。この頃はまだ私もメインヒロイン張ってたのにな。月日は残酷よね。シナリオ書いたやつ殺しちゃうぞ。
And is likely writing this dialogue.
はいはい、ひがまないひがまない。セイバールートのコンセプトはセイバーをメインに置いた聖杯戦争の顛末ね。初心者マスター向けの王道的なお話だと思うわ。
イリアちゃんも中ボス張ってたしね。セイバーちゃんとは別れることになったけど、これでシローも一皮むけてよりたくましくってあれとなると、このルートのまま行くとシローってばアーチャーさんになっちゃう危険性大？
Well, don't we have confirmation of that not happening? Well, actually, it might have happened. I don't know. I don't know.
それはシローの生き方次第ね。まあその可能性は低いとは思うけど、すぐ近くに私がいるんだし。
Yeah, for like a year, I've been told you live like a year. You had like an extra year to your life, and you were talking about how you had a like small lifespan, right?
そっか。この小悪魔がいるならシローも悪の道まっしぐらで安心ね。
Yeah, he becomes like one of the evil servants rather than a heroic one.
でちょっと待った。イリアちゃん、そんなに長く生きられるの？
それは内緒。
Okay.
まあ人間誰だっていつか死ぬんだし、気にしてたってしょうがないわ。で、次はリンルートアンリミテッドブレイドワークスだけど、内容は群像劇というかお話のメインがよりサーバント寄りになってたわね。
I can imagine why.
というかズバリ言って、私たちの出番なかったわ。イリアちゃんは途中退場だし、私の扱いも存在だ。
お前は常に存在だが。
ぐはっ、嘘のない真実が胸に突き刺さる。けど遠坂さんもメインヒロイン張ってる割には弱いぞ。
That isn't wrong.
美味しいとこはみんなアーチャーさんに持っていかれてるんじゃないのかな。
それは仕方ないわ。アンリミテッドブレイドワークスのタイトルが示す通り、リンルートはシローの話でもあるんだもの。フェイトとアンリミテッドブレイドワークスは表裏一体。このお話の主人公はあくまでシローなんだから、メインはシローのお話であるべきでしょ。やつも歪んでるからな。
なるほどね。そうなると骨になるテーマは遠坂さんルートで全部終わっちゃったわけか。
そういうこと。ここまでが表のフェイト。とりあえず一マスターとしてできることはちゃんとこなしたお話で、次の桜ルートが裏のフェイト。聖杯戦争の発端からその終幕までを戦い抜く死闘編なのでした。
死闘編か。そうよね。桜ちゃんルートが一番死亡数多いしね。一番短くなるはずのルートが一番長くなってたなんて笑えないな、お姉ちゃん。
Wait, what? How is it the shortest?
このルートがもっと短くなってたら私やイリアちゃんルートもあったんだけどな。
No, 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 no. Ilya, maybe. Not you. Never you.
お前のルートなどプロット段階からないが。
Oh, okay. Good. Whew.
さて、激動の桜ちゃんルートだったけどイリアちゃん的にはどうなの？
これ大団円って言っていいの？
You know, I'm sort of happy there wasn't an Ilya. Like, okay, so I like Ilya. Her story's interesting, and there's the aspects of it, especially the parts in Heaven's Feel where you have her aspect of it. But if they actually gave her her own route, it would end up it would end up feeling like it would have to be romantic, wouldn't it? They'd have to add that in, and H scenes and bullshit like that, right? So, woo, I prefer it this way.
もちろん大聖杯なんて馬鹿げたものも壊れて、私とセイバー以外はみんな生きてるんだから。これ以上望んだら罰が当たると思うわ。
I can ask for a better thematic consequences at the end of the true end. I can ask for that.
予定ではさくらちゃんも遠坂さんもライダーさんもセイバーちゃんも残ってるっていうとんでもないエンディングがあったそうだけど。
I mean, 2 of the 3 were already alive, so...
ヘブン？
ヘブンっていうよりヘルね。ま、人生ままならないから楽しいのよ。誰かが欠けてるぐらいがちょうどいいってこと。
Would people really complain about the true ending not having enough people alive? Have people really complained about that? I mean, come on. Like, Heavens feels like the definition of having tragedy involved. You should expect that. It's weirder if everyone lived. Oh my goodness.
おー、貫禄のあるお言葉。
Even the Unlimited Blade works good one with Saber living. Just like, well, that just felt unnecessary. I much prefer a good thematic end that feels like it fits with the story and stuff like that than oh, my waifu lived or something like that.
さすが妹にしてお姉さんキャラは違うわね。ところでイリアちゃん的にはシローは兄貴と弟分どっちなの？
それも秘密です。
It's not apparent. People explained it to me, so yeah.
私が両属性持っているように、シローも両属性持っているのでした。
あー、わかるわかる。
Age-wise, older sister. Appearance and relationship-wise, more younger sister, basically.
けど一つ間違えて成長するとアーチャーさんっぽくなるかと思うとお姉ちゃんとしては面白いような悲しいような。
まあそれはこれからの成長したいってことで、リンとサクラに期待しましょう。さっきも言ったけど、フェイトはシローの物語なの。セイバーとリンルートで出てきたシローのあり方の問題。その一つの解決編が桜ルート、ヘブンズフィールってわけ。
それがどんな解決だったのかはなくしたものはいっぱいあるけど これからまた積み重ねていくわけだ。
Which makes the whole my preferred consequence of him like losing all his memories, except that it would make so much sense in that one. My mind's just on that at the moment.
そうだから文句なしの大団円なの。みんなはこれからこれでもかっていうぐらいハッピーになるんだから。
いい子じゃのう。天に召された後でいいやつだったと気づくなんて、なんかますます悪のヒロインっぽいわよ、イリアちゃん。
ふーんだ、元から私はそういう役回りよ。今さら未練なんてないわ。あとは残った人たちの戦いだもの。私はゆっくりこうして温泉に入りながら地上の様子を眺めているんだから。
そっか。
Wait, look down at the earth?
よしよし。それじゃ最後は笑顔で綺麗に締めるとするか、弟子1号。
あーす、了解であります師匠。
フェイトステイナイトはこれにて終了。膨大なプレイ時間にめげず、よく戦い抜いてくれた。
Well, it definitely made me take breaks.
ここまでプレイしてくれて本当にありがとう。今までずーっとバッドエンドに付き合ってきた私たちの役目もこれでおしまいです。これが本当のお別れだけど、縁があったらまた本編で再会しましょう。
じゃあね、もう死なないようにね、若者。
バイバーイ。
The true credits for the game. Dark sided type. Wait, what?
ところでイリアちゃん、さっきここから地上の様子を眺めるなんて言ってなかった？
言ったわよ。ここから地上を見守るって。
まさかこの
ヘブン？
ギャワー！全然綺麗に終わってない。
And that's a perfect way to go out on. Heaven's feel indeed. Okay. So, as I am now truly wrapping up Fate's Stay Night now, I said before that my plan when I eventually come back to is probably going to be Hollow Atraxia. When that'll be, not soon, probably. I don't know when, not soon maybe. It depends what comes up, what I feel like doing. I don't really know, honestly. That could be anywhere from like early next year to a couple years down the line. Honestly, there's so many things, and I only have so much time. I work a full-time job, and there's so many things I try to do on the channel that I've given up a lot of the other stuff just so I can focus on Let's Plays at this point. Overall, Fate's Stay Night, I thought it was very good. I'll give it that. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8. There's aspects of it that really do drag it back from just being like spectacular or anything like that. I think there's I think it's very good. I think it's well executed, but there's a lot of little things in which is the nature of something this long with this much to it, this much in it. There's going to be quite a bit that just doesn't quite get to the level of some of the best parts, and in the end the average will be a bit lower ultimately. If I had to give it a rating, it'd be probably something like that. I thought it was very good. Definitely one of the better visual novels I have played, so let's see. I'm sure people will be interested in my opinions on at least which were my favorite routes and favorite characters. The best waifu was definitely Issei. The best heroine, probably... I like Rin the best. I like her interactions with Emiya. Like, she's a bit of that tsundere sort of cliche, obviously. But I think she is very well written for what that is, ultimately. And I think it works very well, essentially. Without feeling too cliche. without the cliche feeling like it's taking away from it, basically. Oh my goodness, there's text below. I have a secret. Oh my goodness, I can't even read that. That's like the same fucking... I can't read it. Oh my goodness. It's like the same color as the background. Oh yeah, Rin, yeah, I liked her the best. Saber's fine. The whole, like, I see Saber, like, as a character, like, I'd much prefer her as, like a cool bud rather than a romantic interest. Like, oh yeah, we're best friends, that sort of thing. And Sakura's weird because her whole story is so very... I don't know. Heavens feels weird in that it's an interesting story and all that, but it's so unrelatable that it's hard to look past the plot aspects of her character. Because her character, I feel like, is more entwined into how much I like the plot than it is to how much I like her character. Rin's interesting, like they were saying, like Unlimited Blade Works more about Chiro, so Rin's able to just live as her character. She gets a bit of a limelight in it, a bit of a spotlight on her, but it's not really about her so much as it is about Emiya, so she's able to, her presence is more about her being her, ultimately, versus Sakura feeling like she's so tied into the story that her presence feels like she's the story itself. So, and I feel like it's not necessarily a bad approach to do what you did with Sakura, but it certainly makes your attachment to the character a bit less, in my opinion. It depends more about how much you like the story, I suppose, because you sort of have to define her character a bit by said story, even. Like, if I had to pick my favorite route, oh, I don't think I could choose one. Because Fate felt like a fairy tale story. It did. It was, and Unlimited Blade Works was... It was good, but it was different. It felt like it took the fairy tale aspect and sort of was like, okay, we're gonna make this like a bit, we're gonna like make it a bit of our own. Because like, Fate felt like it was a very, very, very fairy tale in that how it was written, how everything played out. Like, obviously it was Fate, but it felt much more like it was abiding by the feeling of a fairy tale, in a sense. And then Unlimited Blade Works felt like, it was like, okay, you know that fairy tale we just told? Okay, we're gonna make that our own properly, and it's a bit weird because I don't really have anything. I can't think of anything I can really compare Unlimited Blade Works to. And then Heaven's Feel was interesting because it was a bit of a, like they said, backside. It's a complete flipping of tone and expectations and stuff like that. It's just different. All of them are so different that it's really hard to say which one is your favorite, because they all do things and what they achieve is so, like, at its core, significantly different. So I'm not really sure I'd want to choose one, because I like them all. I don't think, like, any one of them I enjoyed so much more than the others that I'd say I liked it more. Fate might be a little below the other two, just because it felt a bit more basic, a little bit, but it's still in that same range. That 8 out of 10, I'd probably give it to all of them, in some way or form. Like, even if it's like 8.1 to 7.9 or something like that, if I broke it down even more. So, from a presentation style, interestingly, that last episode felt like it took all the sort of cinematic ways that it could have done, more of at times, and like shove them all in one bit. And I know it's long and there's an extent of what they can do, but overall, I thought it was good presentation. CGs are definitely the best part of the art. The actual like other art is still meh. I got used to it to the point where it's like I'm indifferent towards the art at this point. It's hard for me to properly analyze what I think of it. Musically, I think it's good. I think there's a few tracks. I think it's not like spectacular. I think there's a few tracks that are like, oh yeah, this track, like especially the Saber, like Holy Sword, like fighting sort of soundtrack. I think that one's probably my favorite out of everything that I can remember at this point. That one was really good. Just so got your blood boiling and just your blood running and all that sort of stuff. I would say, from a writing point of view, I'll still say that I feel as though the biggest problem with this is that it was probably maybe like 120% the length that it really could have been. I feel as though you could have really, just throughout all the different routes, tightened up the story better so that things, at least at parts, that didn't drag on. I still attest that anything this length, it's inevitably going to be part of it, because there's only so much you can do before you're just like sitting there like, okay, how do I get the pacing? Without the pacing for this, and the pacing for that, and the pacing for this, and the pacing. There's an extent, it's, oh my goodness, this is long. But, so I think that'll obviously drag back. I already expressed my opinions on the different routes. I think that's pretty good. Summation of my opinions on those, and let's see, what else? General enjoyment. I will say, there is an aspect of the lore and whatnot, that aspect of the plot, where it feels like it really likes to, it wants to have its cake and eat it too, in a sense. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's more a creative decision that doesn't mesh with me as well. Where they have all the, it's like one of those lore systems where you have this like sort of intricate how things work sort of system, but then you want to say like all those systems can manifest in every potential way that you can think of. Like every single like myth and whatnot in history, it just works in this system, and there's basically it's one of those things where you have this sort of like vaguely defined system, and it sort of becomes an excuse to do whatever you want story-wise, rather than a system that spawns ideas from how the system works. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's been more elaborate details of how all of it works, like in other games, essentially. If it was written in more detail, there's more to it. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it was written in a way specifically to try to explain all the nitty-gritty details of why all the random possible things that could happen can happen, and essentially becomes convoluted to the point of just like not really being worth trying to understand anymore, I suppose. That's probably how I would phrase it. I think it's a very interesting lore. I can't really think of anything else like it. The reason that I was always so interested in the lore is because it's so different. And I'm not really... And it's still really cool, and it's really interesting. But I can't say I totally bought into the execution, I suppose. I think it was very well done, but I feel as though there's enough holes and it's sort of obvious how they went about it. At least in terms of the perspective of Fate Stay Night on its own. So, yeah, I'm sure I said plenty of negative things that are going to make people mad. You jump on a popular series and you don't have opinions that people don't want, you have opinions that people don't want you to have, essentially, since Let's Plays in the end are a way to sort of re-experience something, and if you end up not having the opinions people have, or want you to have, or something they can sort of be like, oh, I agree with, oh, I'm sort of like re-experiencing this through someone else again, vicariously through them. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. I've definitely seen some anger across the Fate series here about me not having the opinions people want me to have. I think I've said enough negative things that I'll at least have pissed off one person. Overall, I thought it was very good, though. I can see its flaws, and I think it has very evident flaws, basically. And the thing about those flaws is that they don't need to be negatives for you. They don't need to take much away, if anything. So, for me, it took some away, but I think I got to a point, especially as I got more used to it just being a part of what I was experiencing, that it really didn't take much away, especially by the time I was going through Heaven's Feel and whatnot. Except maybe the occasional dragging of the plot. But okay, so I've said enough. So, again, I've enjoyed this journey, and thank you for anyone who's actually come along for this fucking long journey and stuck around for every episode and watched everything and just watched every episode in the first place, even if you watched like 1 minute each just to see my reaction to one specific thing. It has been quite the journey. Probably the longest one by a fairly decent margin on my channel so far. So, with that in mind, I'll see you in whatever next journey you decide to partake on this channel with me in. Whether that's a Fate series, whether that's another visual novel, or whether it's just any game I play on the channel. I appreciate you accompanying me along this journey, and it really has been a great time. It's almost as if it's been Fate. Hate me more, please. So, whatever it is I see you on next time, I'll see you then. Drive safely, everyone.